the revolution that we say with love. And I think it is the inevitable course of human history to evolve to a society that is voluntary, that is free of violence and force and coercion in human interactions. But it needs to happen from the ground up. It needs to happen from a paradigm shift. And John F. Kennedy said, another politician that I really admire, not for his political work, but having the courage to talk about the transformation and the realizations and epiphanies that he had after taking office. You know, of course, a lot of people think he was shot because he took on the Federal Reserve and started issuing silverback currency. Mm-hmm. But he said, a revolution is coming in America. A revolution which will be compassionate if we care enough, peaceful if we are wise enough, but a revolution which is coming whether we will it or not. We can change its character. We cannot alter its inevitability. And I take the long view of human history. That's why I'm an optimist. And it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and we may be in the middle of a big step backwards right now, but we're getting ready for a big step forward, and that's really exciting. That's the revolution that we're all just lucky enough to be a part of right now. And I said when I spoke at the rally for the Republic in Minneapolis, referring to the Thomas Jefferson quote, that there may come a time when we will tell the establishment, be it with your blood or ours, we have come to water the tree of liberty. People mistook that I was advocating violence in the resistance, and now I believe there will be times when violent resistance may be necessary. But you have to remember that if this movement is going to succeed, it is going to be because of the philosophical grounding in the moral principles of self-ownership and human liberty. And the weapons in this battle before us today are the keyboard and the YouTube video and the microphone. And make no mistake, these weapons slay tyrants.
Well, I agree, and I think that's why the establishment is now going after the Internet via the Cybersecurity Act and, of course, the Cyberbullying Act, which is just so much Johnny nonsense. It's unbelievable. It's literally just so hard to read that, Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana, is against cyberbullying, and she's been called fat online, but she doesn't even spell fat with the F-A-T. She has to put a star during the word because she doesn't like it. So are you telling me that because a 16-year-old girl can't handle a comment about her weight, a 16-year-old multimillionaire girl can't handle a comment about her weight from one of her, jealous fans or some psychopath, something that comes along with fame, I have to lose my free speech on the Internet? I mean, come on.
Dude, why do you know all that? I don't think your teeny bopper fan club is going to be the best argument against cyber censorship. I'm sorry, dude.
I'm just saying that the fact that they're using the #1 recording artist, the one that your kids are listening to, and they're going, yeah, I'm against cyberbullying, and you can't even call somebody fat. I mean, they use the excuse, at least for the Cybersecurity Act and then the Cyberbullying Act, of this woman who was getting revenge on some girl for her daughter on MySpace. She posed as a young boy that was interested in the girl, and then basically had this fake relationship with her online, and the girl ended up committing suicide after the mom told her to kill herself. So now we have to regulate free speech. But putting out, this Disney character.
No. You know what we need to do? We need to have, if it was the mother that told her to commit suicide, we obviously need to have the government come in and ban motherhood. That's the only answer. That's the only answer.
You're right. If we sterilize everybody, everything will be okay. We'll have the sustainability Ted Turner so lovingly talks about. It'll be great.
Oh, man. You're not crazy. You're just living in America.
I'm living in this world. Forget about America. Again, it's North America now. I mean, Chrysler, again, it's just... I saw, for instance, let's talk about North America for a minute. They just had this big conference up in Canada last week, called Adapting to a New World Order. I mean, we have Gordon Brown on the world stage at the G8 summit talking about an emerging new world order. We have Time Magazine printing articles, Barack Obama's new world order. We have Kissinger saying, hey, this is a great opportunity for a new world order. Ahmadinejad, I have the article right here, yesterday calling for a new world order. Leaders in Brazil yesterday calling for a new world order. They obviously want to restructure the global power structure on a whole new level. And again, that's eviscerating what's left of the middle class and trying to create a greater gap between the elite and the general populace. So we have less say in the kind of wars we get involved in. I don't think they like the fact that, 2003 really through 2008, when they were able to kind of put the kibosh on the anti-war movement by just, people like Cindy Sheehan were all of a sudden evil because they were against Nancy Pelosi and Obama. Even though Nancy Pelosi gets in 2006, the anti-war movement's like, yeah, it's going to end. We're finally going to end everything. We're going to go. And then she gets in, we're not going to bring him up on war crimes. Impeachment is out of the question, and we're going to continue the occupation. And I'll just, be at the right hand of the Dark Lord Bush until he leaves, and then I will serve the Obama administration in hopes of one day being a Hillary Clinton-esque politician. I mean, these people, like I said, the LA Times just did an article. I don't know if you saw it, but it literally is a full article all about how serial killers and politicians share the same traits. I mean, that's not a joke. That's reality. Why don't you speak to that?
Well, it's not their fault. A servile, unquestioning, obedient people will always produce tyrants.
It's a good point.
One lesson from history, that it is the vision that the founders laid out for us as a path we have veered so far from, as an entire country.
You're right. That's why the founders talked about a well-informed populace being the best defense against tyranny. Final segment with Adam Kokesh after this. It's AdamKokeshForCongress.com, PrisonPlanet.tv, Infowars.com. In this final segment, Adam, I want you to tell people out there how they can support you, because I really do think it is just so vital, again, that we take back this government, that regular people run for office again, people that see beyond, money and corruption and power and really are looking for the greater good of humanity, not only for themselves, but their friends, their families, their neighbors, and complete strangers, for humanity in general. So how can people support you?
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Before I get to the shameless plugs, man, you're going to dig this. This was in my announcement letter that I put out on May 1st for the Exploratory Committee. But when elected, I will not accept the standard congressional salary of approximately $170,000, but only the national average income. It's time to raise the standard of leadership in this country. Now, I am asking for your financial support. Unfortunately, in the world that we live in, it's one of the most essential things in politics to be able to spread the message, to be able to fund an organization through the entire campaign. And so any financial help, especially early on, that's going to be very important strategically to allow me to clear the field, is appreciated. But I hope that your listeners would appreciate that I'm in this for the right reason. And I'm not about the money, and I'm willing to make the personal sacrifices necessary to raise the standard of leadership in this country. I'd also hope that people would recognize through my history as an activist, having been arrested, I think about 8 times now, and spent never any serious time, but at least several decent stints in jail, that I'm in this really for the right reason. I want to set a record. I want to be the poorest member of Congress, or at least maybe closest to zero net value or net worth. I think
you should just listen, man. Honestly, you just need to take the money, and then you need to just bring it. What you need to do is take all the money and then redistribute that into other organizations like Campaign for Liberty. Okay, let's hear it.
Well, I'm not going to go that far with the Campaign for Liberty. I have something I think that is a lot more appropriate.
Okay.
Because you're right, and you're just a step ahead of me there, man. I'm gonna take the money. I'm not gonna give it. Of all people, I'm not gonna give it back to the federal government.
Yeah, don't give it to the federales.
What I'm gonna do is take every check and prorate it to the current national average income, and the difference I'm gonna donate to a charity that serves the people of my district. But not just any charity. I'm going to allow them to choose and have them select or nominate charities who would be possible recipients of this bid every month, and then vote on them on the website and let people who are my constituents, who I'm supposed to be representing, let them decide, as long as those resources are being put in one place, how they can best serve the community. Of course, I might get to vet the charities just to make sure that they're legitimate, but really that's what freedom is all about. It's about returning the power, which is the choice, which is really about control back to the people. And so that's what I'd be doing with that. But for people that want to get involved now, it's Kokesh, Kokesh, forcongress.com. And we got a great site by Terra Clips. I'll plug them. They're the guys that did RonPaul2008.com and DJ Lawson's website. So we're serious. And it's a great looking website. I'm really happy with what we got from them. We got something. So signing up, making sure that when you sign up, you check the volunteers box for getting involved. But also we have something really cool called the STW112 communications device. It's a little program that you can download to get action alerts in real time from our campaign. So.
All right. Well, I got to tell you, Adam, I'm going to watch you on in the future. Tell me how everything's going. Give us updates, because I am full force behind this campaign, and we need more allies in Congress. So I wish you the best, sir.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
You got it. We'll be back after this. It's the Infowarrior with Jason Bermas taking your calls, 866-582-9933.